The folded letters arrived on a gray morning, sealed with the insignia of command. Each bore the same phrase stamped in black ink. "We regret to inform you." They were condolences. Final words meant to close a chapter that should never have been written. The men she loved, the brothers in arms she'd fought beside, were marked as gone. And yet, barely a week later, the base gates trembled open. And there she stood. Dust clung to her uniform. Blood smeared her arms, and across her shoulders she carried not despair, but two living, breathing Navy SEALs. Before I tell you what happened next, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I love knowing who's listening. The guards at the checkpoint froze. At first, they thought it was a hallucination, a cruel trick of exhaustion and heat. But then one soldier whispered, "It's her." The murmurs spread like fire. She had been written off as dead, her name spoken in hushed tones during midnight prayers. Now she was walking forward, steady but trembling, with the weight of two unconscious men pulling her down. Her legs shook. Every step was a battle. She could taste blood at the back of her throat, smell the copper tang of wounds soaking into her fatigues. Her mind replayed the ambush in fragments. The blast that split the night, the cries, the decision she made when command said fall back. She didn't fall back. She ran forward. Inside, she'd thought, if I go with them. No one gets left behind. The crowd parted. The base fell silent, except for her ragged breathing. Some stared in awe. Others wondered, was this bravery or madness? After all, she had disobeyed. She had defied orders, risked it all. And for what? For 2 lives, for a promise she whispered in a foxhole weeks earlier. "I won't let you die out here." The medics rushed in. The SEALs were lifted from her shoulders, their groans breaking the silence. A wave of relief rolled through the ranks. They were alive, barely but alive. And then all eyes turned back to her. She swayed but stood tall, dirt streaking her face like war paint. Her hands trembled, not from fear, but from the crushing weight of knowing what awaited her. Command would not welcome her with applause. There would be questions, accusations, maybe even charges. But in her heart, a truth burned brighter than any punishment. "They are breathing because I refuse to walk away." The commanding officer stepped forward, his face carved with years of war. He looked at her, then at the rescued men, then back again. For a moment, no one breathed. Was he about to condemn her in front of them all? Instead, his voice rang out, firm and unyielding. "Sometimes rules keep us alive, and sometimes," he paused, letting the words hang heavy, "sometimes it's courage that does." The silence broke into a roar. Applause thundered across the base, boots stomping against concrete, hands clapping until palms burned. Men and women who had lost too many, who had buried friends without answers, suddenly found hope standing right in front of them. Her eyes welled with tears. She hadn't allowed herself to shed. She wasn't a ghost, and they weren't just names carved on stone. They were here, breathing, because she believed in something greater than orders. She believed in the bond no war could sever. And though the weight of judgment still hovered, in that moment, she felt lighter than she had in months. She had carried them through fire, and somehow, she had carried herself back too. Because courage isn't blind. It sees the risk, feels the fear, and still steps forward. Because kindness doesn't vanish, it waits, and it finds its way back. And just like those letters had tried to write her story's end, she had written her own beginning. So tell me, what would you have done if it were your brothers, your family, your promise on the line? Share your thoughts in the comments. And if stories of courage and sacrifice move you, make sure you subscribe, because here, every story reminds us that even in the darkest battles, the light of humanity never surrenders.